Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dennis, welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. This is episode number 301. We're well on our way to episode 400.
or we're on our way to 302.
Equally true.
Yep.
Anyway, we have our one of our favorite listeners, viewer. Do you watch or do you listen to us?
I watch when I'm at work, and then if I'm in the car, I'll listen. But
he's one of those guys that likes to watch.
He likes to
watch when he's alone.
That freaks me out a little bit.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, we got David Cathey on with us, and this week we are going to talk about our top 5 non-makeup Kiss songs.
Okay.
And the only news that I can think of, and of course we've been off for a couple of weeks. While I was away in Portland, Oregon, we learned that Taylor Hawkins passed away while Foo Fighters was on tour in Bogota, Colombia. Is that Bogota? Is that how it's pronounced? Bogota?
Probably not, but we're going to go with that.
It's somewhere in Colombia. That's all I know. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and his band members and all of that stuff. And he was 50 years old, so, extremely unexpected.
Too young.
And like I said, it's been already announced that Foo Fighters have canceled, which I knew it was going to happen. I honestly, I don't want it to happen, but I think this is going to be the death knell of the Foo Fighters. The band itself, I mean, Dave may do some stuff on his own, but, it took him forever to get over
Kurt.
When Kurt got, whenever he offed himself. And Taylor and him were, they were almost like brothers. And it's one of those things, it's going to take him a while to figure out where to go at this point. And the thing is, he got 25 years out of this band. So, and long enough to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, has a lot of hits.
3 or 4 years of Nirvana.
Exactly. So, I know music is his blood and he wants to create new stuff and everything, but I think right now it's just not the time. And I think we're going to be.
Have we all seen the movie Studio 666?
Have not seen
it. Well, then I will keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I am going to watch it. And then
I did watch it. I enjoyed it very much, but of course, I watched it after Taylor passed. So
okay, I've heard both ways on it. I've heard actually a guy who's a really good fan and just said it was just absolutely awful. And
I don't even know if it's streaming anywhere, what it is.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you like Dave Grohl?
Yeah.
Do you like Dave Grohl's stupid sense of humor?
Oh, of course. Some of those videos are hilarious.
Studio 666.
Videos
the whole movie is tongue in cheek.
Right.
We've all seen those terrible horror movies, and this one rates right up there with those tongue in cheek parody horror movies, because the whole thing really is it's a parody of horror movies.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's got a bunch of one-liners in it.
It's like Scary Movie, but a rock and roll version of Scary Movie.
It's like Scary Movie, except it doesn't suck.
Right.
I kid. I have not seen Scary Movie.
But anyway, no, it's one of those things that, I'm one of the biggest Foo Fighter fans there are. I used to, the show was always, Dave Grohl was always mentioned one time through the show.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where I understand it's going to be a time issue, and we're just going to see what happens. And like I said, my thoughts are out to all of them, because it's just a bad situation all around. The accolades he was getting, not only from the rock people, but from everybody. I mean, Paul McCartney. You had all the big
list goes.
The big ones. It's just like I guess he was just and like I said, when Kelly and I met him, I posted those pictures the day after. Met him. He was extremely nice to meet. The funny thing was, he was very nice and very cordial and take pictures and talked, and some people were asking him about drums. But also that weekend in Memphis, not only was Foo Fighters playing the big stadium, Primus was playing a smaller theater, and they were also staying in the hotel we were at. We actually got on the elevator with the big man from Primus, but what's funny was Taylor was more excited to go talk to the other drummer from Primus because I guess they knew each other. So he was like, I mean, appreciate it, but I gotta go talk to this guy real quick. And so he was like, "Oh man, how you doing?" So he was, and they were band people. I mean, I know that I've seen some pictures earlier this week that when they were on tour with these other younger bands, Dave and especially Taylor, were two guys that would stand out and from the side and watch these other younger bands, and being appreciative, not like,
right.
If you bring somebody on tour, you're going to watch them, not just, okay, thank you for helping us out. But anyway, he was a genuine musician and a genuine lover of music. So there you go. I'm done.
I got something else. This has, well, I guess maybe. Eddie Trunk posted earlier today on Twitter, the Grammys remain biggest disrespectful joke for rock. Don't televise the categories and treat it as a footnote. Clueless beyond words. No Jory Jordison. And in parentheses, Slipknot won a Grammy. No Jeff LaBar and left out more in the memorial. And they had 1 second for Charlie Watts. So I don't know if any of you guys have watched the Grammys. We recorded the Grammys, but have not watched. We never watched the Grammys themselves. We just shoot through the performances and watch the in memoriam stuff.
It's on streaming now. I know that I saw today where Mammoth, he was up for a Grammy, which the Foo Fighters won it, of course. And he was like, it was a great thing for us to go to the Grammys. We had a good time, which they have just announced today that they've canceled a bunch of shows now because once they got back from Vegas and from the Grammys, he still tested okay, but the rest of the band who didn't go, a bunch of the guys got COVID now. So,
oh gosh,
you're talking about he said from Mammoth. From
Mammoth. So he says the bubble that we kept all through the whole tour and nobody got COVID has been busted. So they were supposed to play Chattanooga. I think tonight, tomorrow, whatever, it's been canceled. So they're canceling some shows coming.
Well, they've canceled their appearance on Louder Than Life.
Oh, really?
I was told today that they are off of the bill and Pop Evil is in their place.
Wow. Because see, I was wanting to see them there too.
Not the same level of band there. I mean, I've seen Pop Evil a couple of times, and that is not an equal kind of.
I say that with the caveat, I did not follow up to see if that was actually true.
Right.
But
I would guess it's probably true.
The person who mentioned it to me is pretty up on what's going on in the music scene. And
I think they said that
he's a huge Ghost fan, but I won't hold that against him.
Oh, Jesus. I can't figure that out either. But no, I have seen where I think what he said, and I didn't read it completely, but I think he said they canceled the rest of they were at the end of their tours. They canceled the last few shows, and then they're going to make them up at some point. So that may have been true. Then if they were going to be at Louder Than Life, they're not going to be there.
But Louder Than Life's not till September.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
For COVID, it would seem kind of silly to cancel that far out.
Yeah,
but
it wouldn't be related to that.
Okay.
But whatever. It is what it is. Those festivals are notorious for people getting on the bill and then disappearing and being replaced. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get into this though, too, I forgot. I went Saturday night and went to the EPO, which is their Evansville Philharmonic, and they had.
And the O stands for orchestra, not orator.
Right. Anyway, they had a Queen tribute. A Queen tribute. It's called it's Wind. I'm gonna get this right. Hold on a second. I don't want to say this wrong because it's Wyndham, I believe. But let me just double check. Again, talk among yourselves there for a second.
Windham.
Is it Windham?
No, it's Wyndham.
Okay.
The H is silent because they're English.
No, actually, they're not English. They're from America. But anyway.
But they speak English.
God damn it.
I hear Windborn. It's actually Windborn. It was Windborn's The Music of Queen. And what they do is they are it would be what, a 5-piece band that goes around, and all they do is play with orchestras. And they have a conductor, it's number 6. He's the guy who conducts the whole thing. He's did all the arrangements. So they send out the arrangements beforehand to all these, whatever they're going to play. And Roger, our Collier, our conductor, he did the first song, and then he walked off and then let the other guy take over. It was a really, really, really fantastic show. I had seen these guys on YouTube, and I kind of set my bar a little bit low. I don't know if they were just bad videos or what, but I wasn't extremely impressed. They came out, and the dude was just phenomenal. The band was phenomenal. The EPO and the range of songs. I mean, okay, so they started out. God, I'm just trying to think of all this. I mean, every popular song they would play, they played. I mean, they did, Tie Your Mother Down was the first song. They came out with
I saw your video on that one.
It's a great show opener.
And I'm like, oh my God, they're really going to just pull it out. They did. And one thing I was interesting was they did Under Pressure, and the bass player does a dead on Bowie. So it was like, I was like, damn, we're getting 2 for 1 on this part. And of course, you get to hear Bohemian Rhapsody, not only the song that Queen actually only played on stage, but you get the beginning and then the middle part where Queen always walked off and used the video. They did it live. You got all this background. There was one song, I don't remember the name of it, but it was, I think it was one of Freddie's, one of his solo album stuff. But they did Hammer Will Fall. They did the Highlander song. That song was just, I mean, it'll give you a chill with the orchestra coming back. And then, who wants to live forever? And the dude was on. And his high Freddie, where Freddie's voice would always crack, he had that down pat. Now, he wasn't perfect. Mark Martel has got it as close as you can get. And this guy he's damn close. he's really close. Of course, they did You're My Best Friend. Every popular song. One thing they did, it was really good. They did Melancholy Blues, which is off of News of the World. It's a song toward the end of the album. And it's just kind of, because he was mentioning Queen was not a rock band. They did jazz. They did old standards. They did heavy metal, which they ended up doing.
Stone Cold Crazy.
They did Stone Cold Crazy. They did that song, and they said this one of Metallica covered. And I mean, they come out and it was loud and it was bombastic. That was about the time, Bill, I think your mother-in-law and father-in-law said, "Fuck it, we're out of here."
They left it intermission.
But anyway, but Melancholy Blues, they had Tim. He's the main trumpet player from the thing. Did this long solo along with him singing. I mean, they used the orchestra very well as integrating the whole point of it. It wasn't just a Queen show. It was also the Philharmonic playing along with it, and hearing these songs in that bombastic of a thing. It was a fantastic show. It was, I've been 2 seasons now. I've seen every show. This has been the best show that they've done. And the guy, I was telling Kelly, I was like, man, I'd like to see this guy again. And he mentioned something earlier, guys. I got something to say, but I'll wait till the very end to say it. And then he got to the end of the show and he's like, well, I got to tell you something. And he broke down crying. He goes, this is my last show. He says, I've been with these guys 13 years. And he goes, this is my last show. So we got to go to the rooftop bar afterwards. They have a party for the board members and for the band and for some of the orchestra people, and we go with some of the people from the board. So we just kind of get invited. We're kind of coattailing it, but anyway, I got to talk to the guy, and he's really super duper nice guy. Lives in Vegas. Every one of them, they live all over the country. They fly in for all these gigs. He said he started this when he was in his mid 30s. Now he's turned 50, just had another kid. And he said that, during COVID, he said, I had one foot out the door at that point. And he said, once we had the kid, there's where the other foot went out. He says, I live in Vegas. I do other shows. He goes, I I sing Boston. I sing Led Zeppelin. I do a Pink Floyd. So
Wow.
he has all kinds of, and I could tell his range is really good. Plus, he says, he builds cars. I guess he's one of these rebuilds old cars stuff. He goes, that's my passion. He goes, I'm just going to start doing that.
His
But I
name
mean,
isn't Danny Coker, is it?
no, it wasn't.
I love Danny.
I know, no, but I'm sure they're friends. To be honest, I mean, being that the caliber of vocalist that this guy is, and because I was gonna, and I actually gonna still try to get an interview with the guy, even though he's out, because I really want to know the story of how he went through this. So I was asking the guys, and later I saw the other band members, and I said, so what now? And he go, we have 2 other people already lined up that we've actually used a few times, because says we play so much, we actually have extra players just in case, because the schedule is so stringent and flying it's just we need, and we get booked so much, we have to have extra people. So they've got people on the line, but unless it's Mark Martell, I don't think they're going to get another better person, because this guy here was phenomenal. So anyway, that's my review.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, I can give you another review.
Yeah.
All right.
So Bill, this is funny though, real quick. You can give your review. So Bill, I sent a picture of a selfie of myself.
Well, no, let me start.
You do it.
No. Let me start with
okay.
Finding out my parents got my in-laws got tickets to go to the Philharmonic Saturday night, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's a Queen thing. They're going to hate it. That's what I told Lisa. and then go ahead, Dennis.
So I post a selfie on we have our regular seats that we're subscribed. We're sitting there, and then all of a sudden I get a ding from Bill, and Bill's got a picture of me, and he's got this circle, these 2 people behind it. He goes, that's Lisa's mom and dad sitting behind you.
They're right over his shoulder.
Right over the shoulder.
That's
right
funny.
on the side of the aisle.
Right there.
So I was like, okay, so they had an intermission. So I got up and went to the bathroom. And I come back over and I said, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm for, and he was like, yeah, Bill, I was just texting with Bill and blah, blah. And he was asking all kinds of questions and stuff. I only met him one time, I think at your mom's funeral. It's about the one time I've actually really talked to him. And he was asking us how we met. And I was telling him, you were on a street corner somewhere, and
he knows he's heard the story a bunch. He asked every time, and I tell him every time.
I had to get that in. But anyway, but I asked him, I said, you're having a good time? Oh yeah, this is really good. And then Bill texts me a little bit later and says, they're gone. They're out.
No, they bolted right after you walked away.
That is comedy gold. You should have sat there and talked to them till the show started.
Because they had no idea who it was. It was when I told them the next day, because Lisa called them, and her mom was like, I don't even know who these people are. And I said, well, she said, oh, you'll know some of their songs. She goes, no, we didn't know any of their songs. And I said, well, she said, well, We Will Rock You or whatever. And she goes, oh yeah, I know that song. And I go, well, they played that last.
They needed it was toward the end.
Yeah. I said, if it wasn't last, it was close to last, because that's the big hit. So that's the biggest hit.
That was kind of cool, because they were doing like, after We Were Rocky, they were kind of doing this click, and he said, double time it. It keeps him on, and he was like really good to keep the thing, and then it's like they bust in another hit. I'm like, God damn, these guys are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they would have stayed around, they would have known the whole end of the concert, because they were really, it was so funny. So they did Any Way the Wind Blows. And the guy that does the gong, he's like going, that was about a 9 out of 10. And the only reason is because the gong wasn't loud enough. So they do the last little part again, and he hits it again with this other thing. And then finally it's like, it's almost there. So then he gets this great big fucking thing out. It's like, kaboosh! He's like,
I bet that was a setup.
Oh, I guarantee it was
sure.
a setup, but it was funny. I mean, it was like really funny.
Absolutely.
And classic.
Nice.
But no, it was a good night. We had a really, really fun night. And it was just to hear, I'm never going to be able to hear Queen, and never got to hear Queen. That's the closest I'm going to get to it. Plus, with an orchestra, it was fantabulous.
Yeah, it's cool.
Anyway, so let's talk about another band that's been around. Oh, you went someplace, didn't you, Bill?
Oh, I went to see last Saturday, not this past weekend, 2 weeks ago. I went to see Maggie Rose, who we've tried to get on the show a couple times. So our buddy Judd Fuller, who plays for Maggie and a couple other people in the rock and roll residency. Yep. He plays in her band. So I saw that she was coming. I follow her on Facebook, so I got a thing that said she was coming to Indianapolis. So I reached out to him and said, hey, I see that she's going to be in Indy. And so he got together and got some great seats and talked to her for a little bit. It was a very interesting conversation because I had one of our cards with us. And when I met her, I bought a record from her because our seats were uber cheap. So I bought a record so that she gets something out of the deal. So, right. She signed the record for me and stuff like that. And I said, I just introduced myself. Hi, I'm Bill Alge. One of the guys from the Ages Rock podcast. Said, oh, I've heard about you. We're supposed to look for you. And I go, well, here I am.
Sorry. This is all you get right here.
And she goes, yeah. She goes, yes, I'm a friend. I know Judd. And she goes, yeah. He told me you were coming and I need to look out for you. He goes, yeah. She goes, yeah, I want to be on your show. He's told me all about it. He's had a great time being on there. Said, you guys are really cool. And whatever. And I said, yeah. I said, but we had some thing with your publicist just trying to get a hold of it. Well, her publicist is her husband who was standing at the table.
I guess he's not going to get an interview now.
No. And she goes, you mean that guy? I'm like, apparently.
Were you bigger? And he goes, bigger?
Oh God. And he goes, no, man. He goes, no, I remember. I'm sorry. I'll get you taken care of as soon as we get done with this tour thing. I'll get, I got your card right here, and I'll take care of it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Whatever.
We'll that's hilarious.
I don't care. But it was very interesting. I mean, I don't know if you ever listen to any of her music or not. It's more, she started out as country and then now it's more of like blues rock stuff, but it's really, really good. And kind of a Nora Jones almost kind of thing. She's got a great voice. And it was interesting in a room because the headliner, she was the opener. The headliner is apparently a really popular blues guy. His name's Catfish something. He's like really young, 22, young guy, something like that is what I had heard somebody say. And I guess that I can shred like there's no tomorrow. I mean, I could hear him playing, but we didn't go in there because we were waiting for Judd. But and Judd goes, you need to go see him before you leave because this guy is like amazing. But it's amazing. It was funny to watch all these people that really had no idea. I'm sure most of them, 90% of them had no idea who Maggie was, 95% probably. And she just won the crowd over. And she's got these, these guys dancing, these guys dancing on the front row and stuff like that with her. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. So
Judd's not going to Judd's not going to play with a shitty band anyway. You know what I'm saying?
No, the band's great. And
Judd's going to go. I mean, he's going to go with a good performer. He plays with top-notch people. So.
Yeah. So it was good. It was all good. We had a great time. And he came out.
Not only does Judd play with top-notch people, he is a top-notch people.
Well, of course.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He was really nice. I mean, we stood out there. We stood out there, and we talked to him for 20 minutes or so after after stuff was over and the other headliner had started, and we just talked about all kinds of stuff, and it was really good. He goes, man, I love talking to you guys about this stuff.
That's cool.
So we ought to have him back on sometime. Yeah, he'd enjoy it. So anyway, so that was my. Cool. That was my take on the week, but yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. I'd go see her again. So for sure. I think that was it. I think for me, that was that show number 7 so far, maybe 8.
Wow.
And we're just in April.
Right on.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything scheduled. I don't think in April so far. Show concert wise. Journey's next for us on May 5th.
That'd be cool.
Journey and Toto. So we'll see.
That'd be good.
All right, let's roll, man. Let's get into this. This will only 5 songs will probably take a little while.
So yes, we're going to talk about our top 5 non-makeup Kiss era songs. And we're going to start with our esteemed colleague, David. What's your number 5?
Well, before we do that,
God damn it, Dennis.
Well, no, I just wanted to.
I just wanted to say, God damn it,
Give
Dennis.
us your kind of overall what you think about the era of the non-makeup Kiss. Those few records that are in there. I mean, what
few? There's a lot.
Well, there's a lot.
Well, what are they? We have.
There's 10.
We start out with Lick It Up. Is there 10?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I think there's 10.
Animalize.
Well, Lick It Up.
Asylum. Unholy.
10. Right. Well, if you count Unplugged.
Well, yeah, if you count Unplugged.
I was just getting ready to.
It's Lick It Up. It's Lick It Up. Animalize. Asylum. Crazy Nights. Hot in the Shade. Revenge. Carnival of Souls. Psycho Circus. Sonic.
Psycho Circus is not. No, Psycho Circus.
Psycho Circus is a makeup.
Well, makeup. It's makeup.
No, it is a makeup. Right.
Yeah,
that's true.
Carnival of Souls is the last. Carnival of Souls is the last one.
Okay.
You have a live 3.
Okay.
You have a live 3.
Okay. God damn. Right. Okay.
You have a live 3 though. So Lick It Up, Animalize, Asylum.
It didn't matter because I didn't pull anything off that shit. Those last 2 shitty records.
So there's 9. There are 9. There's 9 records. 9 records that are in that.
Oh wait a minute.
How do you get 9?
You forgot one. Oh no, can't say it. It's makeup. Never mind.
No. Did anybody throw smashes, thrashes, and hits in there?
No,
because there are 2 of Brian Harris's favorite songs on there.
Yeah. I was going to say one of them, but I thought no.
I don't know how you get 9. Where do you get 9 from?
Lick It Up, Animalize, Asylum, Crazy Nights, Hot in the Shade. That's 5. Revenge, Alive 3, MTV Unplugged, and Carnival of Souls. That's 9.
See,
that's
now
9.
I don't consider. I didn't even think about including the unmasked live stuff.
I didn't either.
I got one from there. I got one from those albums. So there.
I didn't include.
That's Unplugged. Where he's grasping at straws because he hates the 80s.
You know what? You're so close to center on that.
So we're already battling. We can't even figure out the freaking number.
Oh yeah, it's a shit pool of turds.
It is not a shit pool. I would disagree completely.
It's an absolute.
So anyway, what were you saying, David?
Well,
go ahead. Now you can say what your favorite song was.
We can shit on it. Go hurry up.
A fan that started from the very beginning.
All right.
I like it all. So there's not an error that I don't like. But I do love some of the 80s stuff that came out after the when Lick It Up came out. That was that, and then when Revenge came out, I loved that album because it just seemed like they were a little bit more grittier, a little bit, or as the time says, grungy. But I do like the 80s. I even like Carnival of Souls. A lot of people don't like that one, but I like that one.
Me and my brother.
Favorite.
And I do like smashes, thrashes, and hits. I don't know what Brian. He's got some bad taste,
but I don't. I don't.
So So do you have a pick then?
Number 5.
Number 5. My number 5 pick was Heaven's on Fire. I loved Asylum, not Asylum, but Animalize. I loved the videos from that album, but that song, it was just one good song from them.
The best part of that video was his hands on fire. The rest of it I could do without. Yeah. Bill.
Okay, I'm going to go with number 5. So I too like a lot of the 80s stuff. I liked a lot more of it. I listened back to most of it over the last couple of days. The prep work for our shows are happen in an hour. Most typically, even though we know about them for weeks, but whatever. So I'm gonna go. I've got a multitude here, but I'm gonna go with number 5 for me is off of Crazy Nights, which is one of my favorite Kiss records. Actually, I like most of it. Is Turn on the Night off that record. That's one of my favorites. So that's a number that for me is a number 5.
They've got a great video for that too.
Yep.
Dennis.
Okay, so I did a bunch. Well, this for me got me back to going through because I just listened to all the solo albums. Actually, I still only got through 2. I didn't do Ace or Paul because I know that they're decent. I started listening to these albums out in the garage for a couple days and went through every one of them. It took, oh my God, it was drudgery. Lick It Up. What a fucking piece of shit. And I'm glad I never rebought that on an album.
You mean the whole album or a specific song?
The whole fucking album. This Vinny is just all over the goddamn place. I mean, it's just
except for on Exciter.
I used to like that song, but I heard it again. I'm like, oh, this is fucking stupid as shit.
You know that's not Vinnie Vincent on lead, right?
Right.
You know who that is?
I have no idea. Who?
Rick Derringer.
Oh, okay. That's still shit. Anyway. So then, you get into Animalize. Okay, so Lick It Up was actually my first tour that I saw. That was the night that Vinny got busted. Got fucking run out of town on the rail.
You're not getting on this bus, motherfucker.
So, and then Animalize, because I had never seen Kiss with makeup on. So, these were my first things of Kiss. Animalize, I went through that again, and I'm like, man, I tell you what, that guitar in there is just, oh my God, it's just too much. I can't take it. Hey, Bill, just calm down. We'll get to it.
Dude,
have 5. So anyway, Asylum. Okay, so you want my first song, and I'm going to earlier. So Asylum, I finally got a song that I can actually put on the top 5, and it's Who Wants to Be Lonely. That's just a good song, solid song. It was a hit. I'm not one to pick hits, but that was
a hit.
It was on MTV.
It was not a hit though.
No, but it was on MTV.
It had a video.
Have you ever seen the video that they won't show on MTV? Or they didn't?
I have not.
That was for Thrills in the Night, wasn't it?
No. Who Wants to Be Lonely? When and wasn't that the one where they were in the shower scene, getting with the girls that were all scantily clad?
No, that was Up All Night.
Was it Up All Night?
All Night, whatever the fuck it was. And then
there was one that wasn't. They had 2 different versions.
Oh, okay. But Who Wants to Be Lonely is a decent thing, and of course, Paul's voice is in real good shape at that point.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's my first. That's number 5 for me.
Okay, Bill. We don't have enough time now.
You're done. Okay.
All right. Well, I was a teenager in the 80s, so Unmasked or Unmakeup Kiss was right in my wheelhouse. And my first pick comes from the Lick It Up album, and it's A Million to One. That's one of those. Paul Stanley did a pretty good job for the most part of writing a ballady sort of song. Right. So that one right there is hilarious. Here's what's hilarious. Not that song is hilarious. When I talked to text my song choices, and when I did A Million to One, it said the number 1,000,002 and then the word one beside it.
Nice.
So I for those of you who are not watching the YouTube video, I showed what my talk to text showed in my notes.
That's funny.
So yeah.
So is that your number 5 pick? Is that your number 5 pick?
One is my number 5 pick.
Okay.
A Million to 5.
And if you talk texted it would be FIVE.
I just thought it was funny.
Didn't really put it
because when I first said A Million to One, it showed it correctly, and then as soon as I said comma, it changed it to that number and then the word one beside it, and it just totally cracked me up.
That's funny.
David, what's your number 4?
Number 4 is going to be from. It's going to be Unholy. Is my number 4. I just love the punch of that song.
That almost made it on my list. Almost close.
They came back with that hard edge.
Dennis, I'm going to have to say I'm surprised to hear you say that.
Yeah, I'm like,
I am completely surprised to hear you say that.
Me too.
Why is that?
Because you've always talked about how much you like that song.
Yeah,
I know. It didn't make the list. Sorry.
Wow.
All right. I let a couple shitters in just to kind of make it, to make it feel better. So.
You want to put some turds in this punch bowl?
There you go.
Might as well. Bill. Right?
I got a better Gene song, so there you go.
So do I. What's your number 4?
I had A Million to One as my number 4.
Really?
Yep. One of my favorite. That's my favorite song off Lick It Up for sure.
Crazy. Does anybody know the story behind that song?
No.
Well, if my understanding is correct, the girl that Paul was seeing at the time left Paul for Dan Aykroyd.
Donna
And
Dixon.
He wrote that song
Donna
Really?
Dixon.
because Donna Dixon. That sounds right.
Yeah, Donna Dixon is married to Dan Aykroyd.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, she was dating Paul, and then I guess when they did that movie Spies Like Us, or
Right. Yeah. That's when they fell in
one
love.
of those movies. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I
Dan
don't know.
Aykroyd had probably a bigger check, but
Well, that's probably not the only thing that was
no,
bigger.
probably not.
His pencil was probably a little bit bigger,
Yeah,
maybe.
It was a little
I didn't want to
sharper,
go
too.
there. I didn't want to go there, but
All right, Dennis, what's your number 4?
okay. So me, number 4, is from Crazy Nights, and it's probably, I don't know why I'm going ballady tonight, but "Reason to Live" is a great song because it's one of those. It's a great love ballad, but it's basically a fuck you love ballad. You know, everybody's got a reason to live, but it can't be your love. I mean, it's you fuck me over. I mean, it's like
Hey,
you
A
suck.
Million to One is a fuck you ballad too. Wow.
But it's one of those one, and of course, I don't know. Is that Gary Corbett playing keyboards on those? I don't
Yes.
know. Okay, it's just a really good song, and then of course the lead's good. It was at that time it was a good song for them.
Yeah.
So that's so I'm going ballady a little bit tonight, but that's what I do.
All right, my number 4 is Dennis's number 5. Who Wants to Be Lonely? And one of my favorite things. Excuse me. Bruce Kulick did some great lead work on the Asylum album. You know,
Yes.
come in, just knocked it right out of the park as far as I'm concerned. And the lead solo in Who Wants to Be Lonely is my favorite thing that Bruce has ever done.
Right.
And
Good
it's
record.
a great song.
Yeah, good song. For sure.
And now we go to number 3, David.
My number 3 I've got here is Hide Your Heart. I love that song, and it was put out by 4 other different people
Yeah.
in 1980. It's actually 5 people total, but 4 in the same year that Kiss did it. But Kiss is the best one by far. I don't know if y'all have heard Ace Frehley's version, but I just can't stand that
it's
one.
on Trouble Walking.
Yeah, it's on.
Not that bad. It's actually not that bad. I mean, it's
If you're deaf, it sounds pretty
the
good.
vocal wise, it's not, but music wise, it sounds the same.
Well, I know Molly Hatchet did it, Bonnie Tyler did it, Ace did it, Paul Stanley did it.
And somebody named Robin Beck did it too.
Gotcha. Robin Beck. That name sounds familiar.
Interesting.
Somebody's
Bonnie Tyler did hers a year before Kiss released theirs.
Right. That was pointed out to me a couple of weeks ago. I did a special edition of my radio show called Kissin' Time. And I played Bonnie's version because it was all covers, people covering Kiss songs.
Right. So who was the original person that did it?
Bonnie Tyler. It was on her album.
And who wrote it though?
Paul Stanley.
Paul Stanley did.
Child, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
so
Desmond
it was.
Child.
So they actually recorded it before they actually recorded it. Okay, gotcha. I got you.
What?
Bonnie recorded it before Kiss recorded it.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
What
I'm
he's trying
saying
to say, Bill.
Paul Stanley wrote it with
But
Desmond
wrote it,
Child, but it went to Bonnie Tyler.
It went
first.
to Bonnie Tyler because it was
Interesting.
supposed to have been on an album before it came out on Hot in the Shade. What was it?
Got it.
Crazy Nights.
Crazy Nights.
It was a throw off from that one.
Right.
And it was
And
also
Hot and Shade was basically a bunch of demos, right? A bunch of just basically shit they had laying around because Gene was gone at that point. Right.
It's also my understanding that Gene and Paul tried to talk Ace out of putting a version on Trouble Walking, and he basically told him to fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the stories in there about that somehow like that or something.
Wow. That is, well,
That there. It's sort of that there.
That there, yeah.
wow.
My hillbilly's starting to come out of it.
There you go.
It's been too long. What's your number 3, Bill?
Oh, my number 3 is Dennis and Allen's other pick off Asylum, which is Who Wants to Be Lonely.
Isn't that crazy? How we're picking the
Yeah, I'm writing this stuff down. I'm telling you. We're gonna,
Well, got it.
we got
I got
all
it on my
these songs.
phone.
We're gonna pick- we got all these songs. Going to be 7 of them.
I don't have it in order, but I have them on there, and I'm just kind of going.
I don't have it
I'm
in order. I
right.
mean, I have mine in order, but I'm just writing down who's picking the same one. Who's picking what.
Well,
I don't have mine in order, but I've got them written. I'm just telling you in the order that I like them most. So that's what I'm doing.
I
So
don't
they're
have
in
an order, but I have them in order. Does
And
that
then I've
make
got
any-
one that is a
like the order.
it's got an interesting story, just a short story to it, or an interesting thought about it. Anyway.
Is it your number 3?
No, but I'll tell you my number 3.
Let's go.
All right. It's off the Unplugged album, so it's not going to be, it's actually a makeup song, but it's I Still Love You. Beep. And we had, I was able to go to 2 of the Unplugged live, one, was it 1,000 or was it 1,000 people that were only there
Yep.
minimum. And I got 2 weeks in a row. I went to Nashville and then I went to Indianapolis. And in Indianapolis, I taped it, and I was sitting probably within 20 feet of Paul Stanley. And to hear him sing that at that time in his life, when his voice was fucking, there
He was
is
on top
never
of the world in '95.
there. And when he sings, "I Still Love You," dude, it gives me a fucking chill. And I hadn't heard the Unplugged album in a long time, and I just sit and listen to it there in the garage by myself. And can I close my eyes thinking about seeing him doing that live? And I'm like,
And when he holds that long,
oh my God, there was nobody at that point in time who could fucking outpower sing him. I mean, it was, and that's what's such a shame today. That's what pisses me off about everything now. It's sad and everything else, but no, that song right there is just a fucking powerhouse song with that voice behind it. Oh my God. So anyway.
That's my honorable mentions.
That's my number 3.
Yeah, I didn't count that album, but I wrote it down as an honorable mention because I didn't count that album since it's had a variety, and it's a mask song.
It moves all of us.
No, I completely agree with you. Completely.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Well,
I just chose not this.
My favorite live Kiss album because they couldn't doctor it. I mean, it's truly a live album.
They didn't need to doctor at that point because they were all at their peak. I mean, everything. And then even Bruce's guitar playing in that song was really good.
Bruce and Eric were on fire.
Pull that on.
It was great.
Pull that off on an acoustic guitar is Anyway, go for it. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, my number 3 is, in my opinion, one of Gene's greatest songs of the '80s. And even though Gene is so down on his '80s writing, Trial by Fire is a fantastic song. That is also on the Asylum album. And anybody that says that is not a good song has not paid attention to the song.
I love that song.
Because I mean, it's a great, it's pretty good storytelling in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the vocals, he's not trying to be the demon, but he's not trying to be the Beatles either. He's kind of somewhere in the middle, so there you go. That's my number 3.
100% agree.
Don't care.
Good song.
I agree.
That made my list, not the final list, but the list.
Well, the list consists of like 7 albums, so
we're gonna get to the point. That point.
All right.
Number 2. I'm going to keep it with the Gene theme, and I'm going with "Not for the Innocent." I just love that.
That's a good song.
Song Gene really belts that one.
Not on my list, but a good song. I will give
it's
you
a good one.
Great. Have you heard the demo with him and Paul swapping vocals?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to find that for you and hook you up because I think they made the right choice not putting that on the album.
Yeah,
but it is the way they,
I like the way they
shout
do
it out
things.
loud, the bounce.
Yeah.
They've done a few songs like that, so
right,
pretty good. Bill.
Oh, number 2. Let me see where I'm at on number 2. Number 2, I have got on my list. I have got "Heaven's on Fire."
Hey, I like the video when his hands are on fire.
I like that. That's another one. David and I are both on that song. That's just I love that song. I love it live, and I know that I
love it loud. No,
I love it when it's live.
Not anymore.
No, because I don't care if he does the beginning part. It's not the beginning part is what gets you going. But if he just even starts it and shuts up, the crowd can do the rest of it and then sing the song.
And I believe that when we saw them last time and they did that, that's exactly what he did.
Right. Yeah. And then I think later in the tour, did they take it out later in the tour or not?
They did.
Yeah,
It is.
because
I
it
don't
was
remember. I don't
because
remember
we saw
them.
it pretty early.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
No,
But
I don't remember much of Noblesville, but that's for another story.
well, we
We're
were
gonna
there.
We're gonna
We understand.
going to blame Brad Rusto
Brad
for that
Russell, yeah.
That's right.
in this tailgating party.
Yeah, that was just the appetizer.
Yeah, no shit.
Brian Harris can tell you he saw me have the entree.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
Anyway, all right, Dennis, I believe it's your turn.
Number 2.
Yep.
All right, going to the best of the fucking albums of the Unmasked era, and that would be Carnival of Souls.
Cardinal of
Build up
Souls.
in our miss.
I got it wrong. Anyway, I got a couple off here, but this number 2 is a Gene song, and I love it because it goes back to the soft Gene again. But Childhood End, I think that is a fantastic fucking song. I don't know why that song. I was like excited to hear it whenever it came. I was like, oh yeah, yeah. And it was like it still hits like it did before. Good story. That I just love Gene's softer side voice. I think it's a fucking great deal, and it's just a well written song, and it's like boom down 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 down. You got that guitar
Don't do
work.
that too much because we don't want to get the copyright
I
police
don't.
on us.
Oh, like I'm that accurate. Trust me, I'm not that accurate. I'm tone deaf. Anyway, no, great fucking song.
Well, you know, I'll have to admit, Carnival of Souls did not sit well with me. I liked
Right.
Jungle off of that album,
Sure.
and that was pretty much it when it
Right.
first came out. And the rest of it was just a complete mess for me. And then I saw Mr. Speed at Cincinnati Kiss Expo one year, and they did Master and Slave, and I'm like,
Really? That's
holy
kinda
shit,
cool.
that was good. So I went back
Good
and I
stuff.
pulled out the Carnival album. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But
different.
you know, Hate and Jungle and Master and Slave for the longest times were the only songs on that album I could tolerate.
Right.
You know, but as I've gone back and listened to it over the past 25 years or so, I've really grown to appreciate songs and like Childhood's End. I appreciate that a lot more
It's
now.
just too bad that this album could not have got fucking
it would have been nice if they toured it.
Oh, with a backup to Revenge with this, the look would have been there, the sound would have been there. It'd
probably been loud as hell too.
Oh fuck yeah! but what do we get instead? We got we got the return of Kiss and the original band. So it wasn't a bad trade off, but it would have been interesting to see what would have happened for that tour.
Right, I agree.
It didn't really good.
You know, it's kind of funny because I don't know. I was excited about the reunion, but the excitement didn't last as long as I expected it to. After it started coming out, you kind of you saw that it was kind of just starting to fall apart again really pretty quickly. It's like, son of a bitch. It's like,
well, you know,
so we're not going to get revenge. we're not going to get.
My thing was they come out with Psycho Circus, and I'm like,
Carnival.
Well, the first song sucks. You know, it's like other than.
And it's funny because you think the first song sucks, and I fucking love Psycho Circus.
That's a good opener. I like that song.
Yeah.
But not one of my 5,
but I like that song.
I like, of course, on that album, and that's one that Max, when he was a kid, we get in the car and he always wanted to hear We Are One.
Yep.
And that song was and I like that song a lot too. That's a great song. And that's another Gene-esque, kind of softer voice. So there you go. All right.
Yeah.
I'm done. Alan.
My number 2, again, off the Asylum album.
Let me guess.
Well, Tears Are Falling.
Good song.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly, it's not a ballad.
Right.
But it's kind of got the same message, I read your mind like an open book.
Sure.
It's basically another fuck you song from Paul.
Yeah.
He got a lot of those songs in the 80s.
This guy right here played his butt off on that song too.
Yeah.
You're
Bruce
not
Kulick.
wrong. Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Everything he did, I love Bruce Kulick.
Bruce
No
Kulick
kidding.
kept his end up and did a really good job on everything he done. And, you know, it's just unfortunate, like, you know, Eric Singer got, you know, back, you know, they both got dropped out, but, you know, Eric got his way back in.
Yeah.
And Bruce, you know, what is this song on, you know, of course, on, damn it.
On Carnival?
On Carnival. I
Walk
walk
Alone.
Walk alone. I mean, how true to life does that fucking song? The only song he ever sang end up being almost. I mean, the god awful truth. I mean, he walked alone. He is the only man standing. So
well, that's 2 times I've seen this guy perform that song live.
Wow,
he did it on the last, or he did it on the Kiss cruise that I was on.
Yeah,
I don't know if he did it on the last cruise or not because I wasn't on that one. All right, it's time for everybody's numero uno.
Woo. What's it
I'm
going to be, boy? What's it going to be?
With Paul Stanley on this one, it's going to be 1,000,000 to 1.
Yay!
Not a bad
I love his voice on that song, and just like the one, you know, where he holds that note, he does it again, and 1,000,000 to 1, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Paul was in his
amazing
prime.
What you could do in the studio.
Yeah.
That was uncalled for.
That was uncalled for. Here, let me call you and call it up. Okay. Do a shitty joke on Paul. Thank you.
No, it wasn't a shitty joke on Paul because I know there's a lot of musicians that use studio tricks.
Oh yeah,
we all know that. Vince Neil.
Isn't every? Never mind. I don't even gonna go there.
I don't even want to tell a fat buffet joke.
Well, I was gonna say.
I'm going to the buffet.
Vince Neil's a buffet is a buffet of music tricks in the studio.
So real quick, we talked about. So I guess Vince Neil's been doing all these shows about ghosts and shit like this. I don't know much about it. I guess he's been on a couple of these shows and he's talked about seeing ghosts or seeing this. And they said, somebody said that the last show he was on, he actually went to a medium and talked to Razzle. That was the guy who, you know, he killed in that car crash.
Yeah, he did. Sure, he did.
And somebody who runs that site says he says Razzle actually told him you should have killed Nikki Sixx.
Good grief.
So he said, you know, he should be doing, instead of those shows, he needs to be doing like shows like rating buffets and shit. That's what so anyway, okay, that's my fat Vince joke for the week. All right, man. Where are we at? Bill.
Yeah. One. It's my number one. My number one is Unholy, my absolute favorite song the 80s. It is a good song. And for me,
Stop. It's not your favorite song from the 80s because
the favorite song of the non-makeup era.
Right. Whatever. Non-makeup era. There we go.
Well, but when we were putting this thing together, we had this big, is it going to be 80s? Is it going to be non-makeup? You know, are we going to let Creatures be in there? You know?
Oh, I know.
That's the only reason I corrected Bill. Otherwise, I would have let it slide.
Because I said at 80s, we couldn't even use Revenge.
Right.
At that point. And it was like, Bill's like, I got to use Revenge. And then I'm like, we're going to use Alive. We're going to or then Bill or Alan's like, what about Unplugged? I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. I
didn't say Unplugged.
You're the one that brought up Unplugged.
I didn't even think about the live albums.
I don't think we talked about that.
I didn't bring up Unplugged.
I did.
Anyway, so I picked Unholy, and I picked it because the minute I saw that video on MTV, I was like, my boys got their balls back. This is going to be fun.
Bingo.
Right.
And then they did a great record there, and they did a great record with Carnival. And then the shit went in then it went in the shitter. Yeah. It was glorious for a while, then it went in the shitter.
Right.
Dennis.
All right.
Biggest turd in the punch.
Unholy is a great song, Bill. Great song. And it was almost made my list. But the only reason I didn't put it on was because I got a couple more that I want to put in. But it is.
You only got one more, pal.
But it is a Gene song, and it just tops Unholy by a tad.
I know which one it is,
and it's Hate.
I knew it.
That song, if you listen to it, I mean, you want to know where you want to know the demon got back. That song
It was a good follow up. It was a good follow up to Unholy.
It was a good.
Absolutely.
It is. Unholy is a great song, but man, Hate is just the creme de la creme. Demon, I'm in your fucking face. I mean, this is it. I'm Gene Simmons, motherfucker.
That's right.
I thought you were going to pick I Love It Loud. I thought that was your favorite song.
Yeah, no.
Or War Machine.
But I do have a really interesting thing real quick, but we'll do this after Alan does his. So,
well, my number one, for the same reason that Bill picked, Bill's right there. The reason that Bill picked was Unholy, because Gene was back, baby.
And I can't refute you guys on that. I mean, that was at that time, that was the creme de la creme.
Oh, absolutely. And what was great, because the video came out. I didn't even know an album was coming out at the time, because I was one of those guys that listened to music but didn't subscribe to any of the magazines or anything. So I didn't know the album was coming out. A year earlier, I didn't know Eric Carr was sick. I didn't know he was going to die. So that completely caught me off guard when I saw that news on MTV.
Right.
And then I was watching MTV one night. I think it might have been Headbangers Ball or one of those shows. It was late at night. And, the screen was black. And then up in the corner, it said Kiss, Unholy. And I'm like, what?
What is this?
And we've all seen that video, and it's just how fucking awesome and weird it is. I was like, oh my God. So, and like the next day, I'm at the mall. You got this album? You got it? Yeah. I'm not going to be out till May. I was like, fuck.
And the cool part was Gene had the look for that video. I mean,
Revenge, they finally got their shit. They finally got their shit together.
Yes, they finally went.
I don't look like Maud. I don't have pink and purple and everything else. We're back to black.
I don't have to be green.
My hair is long. My fucking shit. I got that beard. I got that goatee shit going on. Oh, it was perfect.
Yeah. Well, the picture behind David is Hot in the Shade era.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where you could see that Gene was there. He was getting there. He wasn't there yet, but he was getting there.
Right.
And I have to say that the wig that Gene is wearing in that picture behind you is a much better wig than some of them I've seen that poor guy wear.
So here, with Gene's stuff, when he wore those high top white tennis shoes,
right?
Oh my God! I'm like, dude, those are like aerobic shoes. Like Richard Simmons is wearing those. I mean,
where do you think he got them from?
I know. I'm like, stop. And he wears them now. He wears them today.
So going through all these albums real quick, I got one song that I want to bring up that I thought was interesting. I don't like the chorus in the song, but I love just the regular part of the song through the verse, and it's on Revenge, and it's called Tough Love.
Yeah.
Now, listen to that song before they go to the chorus when they're going to that. That's an intro to that's what they're showing what they're going to go to with Carnival of Souls.
Yeah,
that was that drop D, that chunky kind of got that rhythm going. There's nothing else on Revenge. Revenge still has a little bit of Take It Off and that kind of good kiss, but Tough Love, man, I was listening going, God damn, that could have been on Carnival. I mean, it's so close, and it's like going, that had to be kind of a catalyst for that Carnival. Is like going, ooh, this sounded really good. We need to probably do more of this stuff, and I never really had listened to Revenge that close, or that song Tough Love was maybe one of those ones I kind of just went, oh yeah, it's that one, I'm going to skip it. But listening to every song, I was like, well, damn, that's a Carnival song. So I didn't know if you guys picked that up either. I mean, if you ever thought about it, but I love that record. That's one of my top. Well, I know you love 4 records,
so that's a big one for me. All right, so here's some interesting information. So there were 20 picks overall.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
All right.
We picked 14 songs.
Really?
out of our 20 picks.
Wow.
Well, I want to recap of what they were because I wrote them down.
Yep. Go for it. Yeah.
So $1,000,000 to 1, So
Okay.
off of Lick It Up, A Million to One, and Not for the Innocent.
Okay.
Heaven's on Fire off Animalize. Asylum had Who Wants to Be Lonely, Trial by Fire, and Tears Are Falling. Crazy Nights had Reason to Live and Turn on the Night.
Right.
Hits had Hide Your Heart. Revenge had Unholy. And let's see, Carnival had Hate and Childhood's End. And Unplugged had
Right.
I Still Love You.
Love you.
I
Yeah.
went off a little grid on that.
So yeah,
But
15, 14, 20 picks. We
would
picked
make a
14.
really good.
What are the
playlist.
chances we all picked the same? We picked that many of
Yeah,
this.
no shit.
We picked.
Send me that. If you send me that
Success.
list, I'll make a Spotify list of that and put it on our page. I'll put a link to it if you send it to me, Bill.
All right.
All right, just text it to
I'll
me.
just-
or
I'll
just take
just
You
take a
ain't gonna
picture of
send it. Dennis ain't gonna make a playlist because every time we say we're gonna do one, we never do.
You know what? I'll do it this time. God damn it.
Maybe.
All right.
Anyway, hey Dennis, not
Dennis.
Dennis. David. How many times have I called you Dennis, David?
I don't know.
Too many to count.
More appendages than I have to count.
There's a list. You got it.
All
There
right.
you
Thank
go.
you. All right.
But anyway, thanks, David, for coming on, and
appreciate
thanks for being a long time listener. I mean, 6.5 years.
Yeah.
You've been here from the beginning.
Long.
We appreciate it. We appreciate everyone that listens to the show and watches the show,
Yep.
and those of you who are always sharing the show and talking about us and talking shit about us. We don't care because what Gene says, any publicity is good publicity.
We just need some publicity.
Yeah, no shit. There you go.
So
That's
tell us your top 5 non-makeup Kiss songs. Contact at agesofrock.com or post on our Twitter that Bill should really work more on.
Twitter.
And our Facebook. We would love to hear from you. Visit us on agesofrock.com. Check out our past episodes and social media links. And until next time, peace out. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.